The day is finally here. The Stanley Cup playoffs get underway tonight. If you guys are as excited as I am, be sure to drop a like on this video. I'd really appreciate it. However, this video actually has nothing to do with the Stanley Cup playoffs at all. We have a little bit of news to talk about. I'm a little bit late on one of the things we're going to touch on, but I have been seeing a lot of comments of people asking me my thoughts on this, so I figured better late than never. I'll still talk about it quickly in this video, along with something else. We will start off with the Red Wings news. The Detroit Red Wings Twitter account actually put this out 2 days ago. Detroit Red Wings Executive Vice President and General Manager Steve Yzerman announced today that the team will not renew the contracts of head coach Jeff Blashill and also the assistant coach and goaltending coach. Now, if you're a long-time subscriber, which I'm sure a lot of you are, then you would know for me this is something I wanted to happen for a very, very long time, pretty much ever since I even started this channel, and that's not even over-exaggerating because you have to remember, Jeff Blashill was like the second longest tenured coach in the league, I believe, only behind John Cooper. This really was a long time coming, and when I initially saw the news, I didn't like jump for joy or anything. I was just relieved a little bit, and I was like, finally. That was kind of my initial reaction because you never really like to cheer for a guy to lose his job, right? I'm sure Jeff Blashill's a great man, all that kind of stuff, but he really just wasn't the right coach for this team anymore. He wasn't the right coach to develop all the young players that the Red Wings have under. I really feel like Jeff Blashill would be better suited on a team that is trying to win and that isn't in the midst of a rebuild. And the thing is, when it comes to Blashill, even though he's not going to be the Red Wings coach anymore, this is a guy that I feel like could still easily get a job in the NHL if he wants it. Maybe not even as a head coach, but an assistant coach. I mean, he's the assistant coach for Team USA in the upcoming World Championships. He's been the head coach of that team before as well. He's a very well-respected guy around the league. So again, I feel like he probably won't have any problems finding a new gig. So those are my quick thoughts on Blashill being let go. Again, if you've been around a while, you would have already known my thoughts, but now I want to kind of shift focus to who the next coach of the Detroit Red Wings could be. In Steve Yzerman's career as a general manager so far, these were both with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He hired two coaches. One was Guy Boucher and one was John Cooper, who obviously has found a lot of success there and is now the longest tenured coach in the league. And the thing about both of those hires by Steve Yzerman, both Boucher and Cooper had no previous experience as a head coach in the National Hockey League. So I honestly feel like there's a really good chance the next coach of the Detroit Red Wings is somebody that has never been a head coach in the league before. And honestly, I would be all for that. I know a lot of Red Wings fans were clamoring for it to be Igor Larionov, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen because Larionov actually just got a brand new gig as a head coach over in Europe, so he seems to be off of the board. Over the past couple of days on Twitter, I've been seeing a lot of people throwing out the idea of it maybe being a former Red Wing, somebody like Henrik Zetterberg, Nick Kronwall, Thomas Holmstrom, Sergei Fedorov. We'll see what happens. Whoever it ends up being, I trust Steve Yzerman is going to make a great decision, and I'm really excited about this. I feel like it's going to give the Red Wings a different feel heading into next season, give a lot of guys a fresh start. You know, reports came out as the season was winding down that a lot of younger players were not happy with Jeff Blashill and that there wasn't a good relationship there, so this is definitely for the best if you ask me. But that's enough on that. Let's now shift focus to Mark Scheifele, who made some really interesting comments yesterday about the direction of the Winnipeg Jets and potentially his future with the team. I'm going to read you his full statement here just so you get all the context. I just have to understand where this team is going. I'm in the prime of my career. I still have so much to improve on too, and I like where my game is at. I like the physical nature that my body is at. I'm only improving, I'm only getting better, and I'm only going to be a better player next year than I was this year. I just have to know where this team is going and what the direction is and what the changes are going to be, if any. I have to think about my career and what's going to be best for me. Those are going to be talks with my agents and everyone in my family and stuff like that, and figure out what I really want. So it will be a tough talk tomorrow. And then just recently, Kevin Cheveldayoff was asked, has Mark Scheifele requested a trade? And Cheveldayoff said no, he hasn't asked for a trade. I'll have a conversation with him during the exit meeting here and then find out some clarity. I don't know about you guys, but that whole statement there from Mark Scheifele, to me that sounds like a guy who wants to request a trade or is prepared to request a trade. And I've actually talked about this recently. I think it was one of the more recent Ask Me Anything videos was like centered around this. It was titled after this. I honestly think it's time for Winnipeg to make a pretty big change, shake up the core a little bit, not necessarily go through a full-on rebuild because I don't think they need to, but more of a retooling and maybe just move one or two of like the core pieces that have been there for a while. And I really believe Mark Scheifele is the perfect candidate for that. He has 2 seasons left on a very team-friendly deal when you consider the fact that he's been, you know, hovering around at a little bit over a point per game for like the last 6-7 years. This is a player that you would be able to get a pretty significant haul for. I'm not sure if it would be quite the level of, you know, what Buffalo got for Jack Eichel, but I feel like it would be similar. It's going to be really interesting to see what comes of this, and if Mark Scheifele does in fact request a trade, then we'll definitely be doing like a deal or no deal centered around Mark Scheifele, all that kind of stuff. I just feel like if Mark Scheifele had no intentions on wanting to leave Winnipeg at all, no intentions on ever asking for a trade, then these are just comments he wouldn't have made. That is all I have to say on that, though. I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts on both of the little bits of news we talked about in today's video. How do you feel, if you are a Red Wings fan, about the Red Wings moving on from Jeff Blashill? Who do you think some candidates could be to be the next head coach? And also, what are your guys' thoughts on what Mark Scheifele had to say? Do you think we've seen him play his final game as a Winnipeg Jet? Is a trade involving Mark Scheifele something we can see over the summer? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. And if this was your first time checking out the channel and you want more NHL content just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you all soon.